It requires strong acidic conditions and because there are some dehydration steps, we must heat this reaction system so, and high temperatures. Okay, so when we have acid sensitive functional groups in the molecule or in the starting material, then we cannot use Clemmensen reduction for the reduction of either aldehydes or ketones, right? Because we are using strong acidic conditions, concentrated HCl as well as high temperatures. Then if we have some acid sensitive functional groups like THP or alkoxy groups, then it is difficult to use Clemmensen reduction. Now we will see some examples on Clemmensen reduction, and then we will go to the next reduction. What is the product? Here, the aromatic alkoxy groups, they are not that easy to undergo hydrolysis under acidic conditions. Okay, we need BBr3 or TMS iodide for selective deprotection of this OR group, okay, OMe. So under normal acidic conditions, it is not possible to deprotect this. Okay, so here the only functional group which will undergo reduction here is aldehyde. Okay, so aldehyde will be converted to saturated carbon. So this reaction, Clemmensen reduction, it works well for aromatic carbonyls. What is the product here? In this particular example, we have two functional groups, ketone and carboxylic acid. Of course, we know the Clemmensen reduction conditions are used for the reduction of aldehydes and ketones only, but not for the esters or carboxylic acids or amides. So the ester group will not undergo reduction, only the ketone group will undergo reduction. So the product is saturated carbon here, carboxylic acid group will be retained. In this case, the aldehyde group will become CH3. aldehyde group will become CH3. Please take a snapshot. I'll change this page. Okay. This is an interesting example as far as Clemmensen reduction is considered. Here we will have phenyl group migration and then alkene formation. It is not the only reduction. Phenyl group migration is possible and alkene formation is possible. Okay, right. So when we use zinc, the first step is the formation of this carbocation, right? So when we have this carbocation, now it is possible for the phenyl migration. It is possible for the phenyl migration. Okay. Why it undergoes migration? See here it is a secondary carbocation and we have only one phenyl group and one OH group. But when the phenyl migration occurs, then what is the pH, OH, and it is a carbocation here. It is a tertiary carbocation and it is dibenzylic. It is dibenzylic, so it is stabilized by this benzene ring and as well as this benzene ring. So compared to this, this is more stable. Then it will undergo dehydration. Okay, when we add zinc, it generates an anion. Okay, that anion will polarize towards this carbon, so it will generate a carbon-carbon double bond, and OH will be leaving. Otherwise, I'll write this that step also. So the carbocation now will be converted to carbanion. Then this carbanion will polarize towards the other benzene rings, so it generates a carbon-carbon double bond. Then OH group will be leaving. So under acidic conditions, OH group can be protonated, so we can take out water molecule. Similarly, in the next example, we can have variety of products under Clemmensen reductions. See here, when it generates an anion, so this anion will condense with this carbonyl. Sorry. So OH. So we will generate an anion here. This anion will condense with this carbonyl because it is an intramolecular reaction. It is positive. So this will be converted to OH. But it is a three-membered ring which is generated now. Of course, it is less stable. So it will again further undergo reduction. That means three-membered ring will break. How it will break? The lone pairs will be pushed so that this carbon-carbon bond will break down. So here what we will get? We are getting a five-membered ring. We are getting a five-membered ring and we are getting back this carbonyl. At the same time, we have this methyl group and OH. Of course, carbonyl is unstable under Clemmensen reductions. It will further undergo reduction. Here, it is an alpha hydroxy carbonyl. It is an alpha hydroxy carbonyl. So I think I'll better write all the mechanistic steps in this conversion. So it is not ending here. It generates again a carbanion here, and this carbanion can be polarized towards this hydroxy so that the hydroxy group will be leaving. The product is an enol. The product is an enol. Of course, it will undergo tautomerization to give a final product like this. Okay. When we have different substituents are properly placed functional groups, then we can get a variety of products under Clemmensen conditions. So the overall product is this fellow. Overall product is this fellow. A ring contraction occurs here, and again we will be getting a carbonyl. So in the last example, we have a cage type of molecule here. So it is a 5-membered ring here. And similarly, we also have another 5-membered ring in the back side. And these two are bound together by a bridge. And we also have bonding between these two carbons. Okay. These two carbons we don't have bonding, and these two carbons are bound by a bridge. So it is a dicarbonyl. So under similar conditions, what happens? The anion generated here will undergo condensation with this carbonyl. So there is a carbon-carbon bond formation between these two carbonyls. Of course, we have a bond here, we have a bond here. Now, there is a bond formation between this carbon, and these two will form hydroxy. It is a 1,2 diol now. శ్యామ్ గారు కొంచెం ఫోన్ చూడరా. So the Clemmensen reduction is performed under strong acidic conditions. So if we have some acid sensitive functional groups in the molecule, it is not possible to apply Clemmensen conditions. Then alternatively, we can use Wolff-Kishner reduction. Alternatively, we can use Wolff-Kishner reduction conditions, which is a basic reaction conditions. So acid sensitive functional groups will not be deprotected. So what is Wolff-Kishner reduction? Wolff-Kishner reduction is again the reduction of a carbonyl to a completely saturated carbon, but here the reaction conditions are hydrogen and a base. Hydrogen and a base. So it is essentially basic conditions. The solvent is 1,2 ethane diol. It is the solvent. It is not exactly the Wolff-Kishner reduction. The reaction is a modification of Huang-Minlon modification. It is actually modification for Wolff-Kishner reduction, but still we will consider it as Wolff-Kishner reduction. But to be frank, it is the Huang-Minlon modification to what is originally proposed by Wolff-Kishner. But people don't say it is Huang-Minlon modification. It is still considered as Wolff-Kishner reduction. Then how do we do this reaction? So on the basic, when we add hydrogen to a carbonyl, it generates a hydrazone, right? So it is hydrogen, and the carbon double bond nitrogen is called hydrazone. Then under basic conditions, KOH is a strong base, so it will easily pick up a proton from nitrogen. So we are generating a negative charge on nitrogen. We are generating a negative charge on nitrogen. Now this negative charge, so of course we need to write loss of water. Now this negative charge will be polarized towards nitrogen, so that we will be generating nitrogen-nitrogen double bond. So this nitrogen carbon double bond will be broken and will be polarized towards carbon. So what we are getting is nitrogen-nitrogen double bond and a negative charge here. So this negative charge, of course, will pick up a proton. This negative charge will pick up a proton from either water which is eliminated in the first step or from the solvent. So sorry. So it will get one proton here, and of course we will have another like. Now the same step repeats. That means KOH will pick up a proton here. So the negative charge will be polarized to generate the nitrogen-nitrogen triple bond. Yeah, you can take the notes. Okay, it is a similar step. So KOH will pick up this proton. Negative charge will be generated on nitrogen. So the negative charge will be polarized towards nitrogen-nitrogen to generate a nitrogen-nitrogen triple bond. Nitrogen-nitrogen triple bond is a gas. So N2 gas, it will be escaping from the reaction mixture. Then we have again negative charge on the carbon. So this negative charge can be protonated using either solvent or water. So finally we are getting a completely saturated carbon. This reaction is under basic conditions. Clemmensen reduction is under acidic conditions. Wolff-Kishner reduction is under basic conditions. So if we can apply basic conditions, we can go for Wolff-Kishner reduction. But if we require acidic conditions, we will go for Clemmensen reduction. Now we will discuss some examples on Wolff-Kishner reduction. Please take a snapshot. I'll change this page. Okay. When we use a modified conditions in Wolff-Kishner reduction, like if we use tosyl hydrogen instead of simple hydrogen, we need to use a reducing agent instead of a base. So in the first step, what we will get a tosyl hydrogen. So this is para-toluene sulfonyl group tosyl. When we use tosyl hydrogen, what we will get is tosyl hydrogen. Then instead of base, here what we need to use is a reducing agent. It is a simple imine. Imine can be reduced, right? So either sodium borohydrate or LAH or sodium cyanoborohydrate. So these reducing agents can be used to reduce this imine. Now we will be generating when we reduce it with a hydride addition will occur. So hydride will add to carbon, then nitrogen will get the negative charge. This negative charge H minus will add here. This double bond will be polarized towards nitrogen to get a negative charge. Now this negative charge will be polarized towards nitrogen. Okay, so that the tosyl group, which is a good leaving group, will be leaving. So now we are generating a nitrogen double bond. Nitrogen double bond. Then again, the lone pair on nitrogen can be utilized, and this can be polarized towards nitrogen. So it generates nitrogen triple bond, and we will be generating. So N2 gas will be leaving, and we are having a carbanion. So negative charge here. And this negative charge can be protonated either using a solvent or water, so that it will be completely saturated. So it is a small modification to the Wolff-Kishner reduction. So instead of simple hydrogen, we can also use, here it should be heating. The reaction condition must be heating. So we can use tosyl hydrogen so that we don't need a base. Alternatively, we can use some reducing agent. So I'll give you some examples on this. You just practice them. practice these three problems. In this example, I put a star mark here because the double bond migration takes place here. Okay, so this double bond will be isomerized towards the carbonite. All other things are same.